We hope that this ceasefire will finally allow unrestricted access to the civilians in the crossfire, in the besieged areas, in the hard-to-reach areas, because December was the worst month so far this year since the February ceasefire. In reaching besieged areas, we only came into one of them. We desperately need this ceasefire. The reports I have from the field is that there is a decrease, a marked decrease in fighting, in bombing, in violence compared to yesterday, but certainly there's been a number of violations, and that is probably to be expected because there are so many different groups, so many parties, so many militias, so many entities on each side that needs to understand and adhere to a ceasefire. We're ready, we're willing, we're able to go to all of the 15 remaining besieged areas beyond East Aleppo. We can go in the next days to all of them, but then we need unimpeded access. We need the government to give us all of the permits that they require us to have before we can go. We need security guarantees from all sides, and we're not given them, and we need a holding ceasefire. If all of these things are met, we will be there for these worn down, suffering civilians who desperately need our assistance. It's midwinter in Syria. They've gotten too little in November and December. January needs to be really different. If not, there will be starvation, there will be, untold unnecessary deaths in these 15 besieged areas that hold around 700,000 desperate civilians. Each and every day we try to get into these areas. We've tried throughout December. The government of Syria green-lighted access to nearly all of the besieged areas at the beginning of December. There are now, however, some 10 bureaucratic and security steps that they have put obstacles, I would say, for us to reach these areas, and we reached one place with 6,000 people out of 15, 16 that have 700,000 people. So it just shows how enormous the obstacles are for the poor humanitarians who try to help the vulnerable civilians. That has to change, and men with power and men with guns are the ones holding us back from helping innocent civilians. We could go to all of these within the next 2 weeks. In Aleppo, it's a race against the clock and race against the cold to access and provide assistance and protections to all of the displaced within Aleppo. 110,000 people were displaced from the homes in eastern Aleppo to elsewhere in this final phase of the war in Aleppo. And there are hundreds of thousands or more in the Aleppo area, and it's freezing cold.